Hey everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining me once again. It's a beautiful Wednesday, November 13th. You know what that means? It's Upon Further Review with Sean Tomlin. I'm your host, Sean Tomlin, and this is going to be our Week 10 episode out here in the stable in Monty Lake, BC. Beautiful Monty Lake, BC. Just fucking beautiful. Just love it. Man, fucking love football. Football's just fucking sick. Just can't get enough of it. Now it's getting colder outside. And what's the best thing to do on a nice cold day? Sit inside. Get on your couch. Put on your jersey. Watch some fucking football. Fuck, I love football. Alright, well, let's get into all the action right now. On Thursday night, we had the Bengals beating the Ravens. Oh, we had the Ravens beating the Bengals. Duh. 35-34. Fucking awesome game. Thursday night's really starting to show some really awesome games. As long as I can fucking remember. Before this season, Thursday night football sucked dick. They had like this color rush thing going on for a while. Yeah, I'd like to forget that. We're going to move on to the Sunday action. First up, we have the Panthers going up against the Giants in Munich. And the Panthers won 20-17. Did not see that coming. They won on a game-winning field goal. We had quite a few of those. We had actually 3 game-winning field goals. One got blocked, which was shitty because we'll get into it. But anyways, the Giants ended up losing to the Panthers 20-17. Pats beat the Bears 19-3. Did not see that one coming. And man, the Bears looked horrible that day. But there's not much you can do about that. Buffalo beat the Colts 30-20. Fucking Buffalo. Yeah, they're a good team. Come on, Colts. Pick it up. Let's go. Vikes beat the Jigs in a laugher of a matchup 12-7. Like, they just stumbled their way through that one. Like I was saying about the blocked field goal game, that was the Chiefs versus the Broncos, 16-14. That was actually a pretty entertaining match. And seeing them block it, I was like, there's no way they're going to stay undefeated. And then they block it. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. That's what's going to happen. Next up, we had the Saints beating the Falcons 20-17. Surprisingly, not a game-winning field goal. But that was a really good game to watch. Saints were actually looking really good now that they have this new interim head coach in there. Apparently he's doing something right. They've got some pieces, but they're not all the way there. 49ers beat up on the Bucks 23-20 on a game-winning field goal. That was Christian McCaffrey's first game back, and he looked pretty steady. They didn't use a lot, but they used it pretty consistently, but like not to the extent that we all know CMC to be used to. So it was good to see him getting back on the field and being productive. Next game, we had the Steelers beat the Commanders 28-27. That was an awesome match. Definitely saw the Commanders coming out on top on that one, but they just couldn't pull it out. Rookie QB, he's doing great, and that I see that Commanders team being really good for quite some time. But they just didn't have it today, and that's going to be normal with any rookie quarterback. He's not going to go undefeated. He's not going to do that to you. Next game, we had the Eagles beating the Cowboys, 34-6. Holy shit! What a match! Like it. I thought the Cowboys were going to put up a little bit better of an effort, but to get like shut down like that by the Eagles of all teams, like. These guys have fucking hard-nosed matchups every single fucking year. And they couldn't make it a nice one this time. And, something's got to get fixed there. Obviously, there's some news about their quarterback coming out, which we'll get into later. But, man, they got to pick it up. It's tough. It's tough because they know they have Dak for the next 4 years, and there's not a goddamn thing they can do about it. And he's not a great quarterback. So, odd decision, Jerry. Odd decision to keep him around. Chargers beat the Titans 27-17. It was a good match, but it was also kind of lackluster. It wasn't like, my God, this is the matchup you need to watch. It was just, it was a good game for the Chargers. They ended up coming out with the victory on that one. Then we had the Cards beating the Jets 31-6. Aaron Rodgers and his new cayenne pepper and water routine just couldn't get the victory for him. He's gonna have to figure out something else. Maybe one of those dark room therapy sessions for him, or some echinacea or whatever the fuck it is. I don't fucking know. Sunday Night Football had the Lions beating the Texans 26-23 on a game-winning field goal. That was a good match to watch, but Jared Goff had 5 interceptions. Like, dude, I get it. You thought the fucking Texans, their helmets look like candy apples. You really like candy apples. For some reason that made you want to throw the ball to that. Whatever, dude. You got to pick that up. But you've been doing good. You still got the victory. So, good to see those Lions keep it going. Monday Night Football finished off a week of action with the Dolphins beating the Rams 23-15. Not a lot of people saw the Dolphins winning. I saw the Dolphins personally winning because the Rams really just, they don't have much. They're not like a garbage team like the Panthers or the Giants, but they're not the best. They're not like the Ravens. So that's all the action that we had. Now we're gonna move into my picks. Last week it was 8-6. It wasn't horrible. It was over 500, but it wasn't as good as what I was hoping. Overall, I'm 65-39 in my picks, so you can take that for what it is. Maybe you'll start picking some of the guys I like. Obviously, I'm never going to pick the Patriots, so that one you can pick on your own if you want to pick the Patriots. Heaven forbid. So my picks for this week are going to be Thursday Night Football. Commanders are going to go up against the Eagles. I'm going to take the Eagles in that one because the Eagles have just been looking dominant. The Commanders are a good-looking team, but I don't see them pulling out the victory. Just like last weekend. Good team, but just couldn't get it done. They're not going to win every single one. You got to lose sometimes. And Washington knows a lot about losing. Our next matchups, our Sunday morning matchup, we got the Colts versus the Jets. So I'm taking the Colts in that one. I don't know why. It's almost like I really like them or something. I don't know. Haven't figured that one out. Oh, wait. It is because I fucking like the Colts. They're always going to fucking win. And they got some news on that one about their starting quarterback. We'll get into that later. Next, we got the Packers versus the Bears. So that's going to be a good matchup. I'm going to take the Packers in that one. Then we got the Jags going up against the Lions. Going to take the Lions in that one because the Jags just fucking goddamn dumpster fire. They show glimpses of being actually a fucking good team, but they just really are not. Then we got the Raiders going up against the Dolphins. Going to take the Dolphins in that one because the Raiders can't seem to stop anything. Then we got the Rams versus the Patriots. Going to take the Rams on that one. Obviously, because I don't ever pick the Patriots. And you know what? The Patriots might end up winning that one. I'll give credit to Drake May. He's doing pretty awesome. But I'm picking the Rams. Fuck the Patriots. Then we got the Browns versus the Saints. I'm going to take the Saints on that one. I really like what this new head coach, interim head coach, I guess you could say, is doing with the team. I think be nice to see them lift that off him at the end of the season because I think he's really got his team going. Then we got the Ravens versus the Steelers. Even though the Steelers have been doing awesome as of late and Russell Wilson's cooking again, I'm definitely going with the Ravens on this one because the Ravens are sick as fuck. Just sick as fuck. Like, never more. Move the fuck over. King Henry's on his way in. Then we got the Vikings going up against the Titans. I'm going to take the Vikes on that one. Sunday afternoon, we got the Falcons versus the Broncos. Probably going to take the Falcons in this one. Broncos defense has looked awesome. Bo Nix has been a very good quarterback. He hasn't been great. He hasn't been bad, but he's been doing everything that he needs to do to get them victories by not turning over that ball. Next, we got the Chiefs versus the Bills. I'm going to take the Chiefs in that one. Still a little bit bitter. The Bills beat me last weekend, and they might have a chance to actually put that first loss on the Chiefs. But I'm going to go Chiefs on that one. Then we got Seahawks versus 49ers. Going to take the Seahawks losing to the 49ers in that one. See, got you there. You thought I was going to take the Seahawks. No, of course, 49ers are going to win in that one. Seahawks are a good team. They got a strong team. They're looking good this year. But it's the 49ers, and they're just full of fucking weapons. And Kyle Shanahan always seems to fucking figure out something to do. Sunday Night Football at the Cowboys versus the Texans. I hate to go against the Cowboys. I want to keep picking them because I really like them. But I got to go Texans on this one because the Cowboys just have not been looking good. We're going to finish off the action Monday Night Football. Bengals versus Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers. I'm going to take the Bengals. Pretty sure I'm going to take those Chargers. Bengals had a really good weekend last weekend against the Ravens. Obviously, they got the W or the L that week. But I don't see them getting this victory. I think Harbaugh's just got too good of a defense going there. All right. We're going to move into another segment here. My top threes at all positions for fantasy points this week. We had QBs with Lamar Jackson at 45 plus. Joe Burrow with 44 points. And Kyler Murray with 31 plus. Our running backs, Bijan Robinson had 30 plus points. Hubbard had 24 plus points. And James Conner had 22 plus points. For wide receivers, we had Jamar Chase, obviously, 59 plus points. Fucking huge day for him. MVS with 27 plus points. And Calvin Ridley with 26 plus. For our tight ends, we had Travis Kelce leading the way with 20 plus points. Mark Andrews right behind him with 18 plus. And Hudson with 16 plus points. Where did he come from? Never would be like, hey, I got to start Hudson at tight end this week. No, that wouldn't happen. Our defenses, we had the Eagles with 42 plus points. Bills followed right behind with 39 plus points. And the Pats, 38 plus points. Fuck you, Patriots. I guess you did pretty good beating the Bears. You get dead. Our top 5 waiver wire pickups. That's our next segment. And I'm going to say, you're going to want, we want to pick up Herbert if you don't got a quality quarterback in there. Herbert or Russell Wilson. Those are my 2 first picks for waiver wires. Get one of those guys into your team if you're looking for a quarterback. Definitely going to help you out. Then we've got Keenan Allen. He's sitting up there on the waiver wire. He's going to be somebody that, you're like, hey, although I've been bashing the Bears, is it somebody that you think you're going to want to put in there? Well, it's not like he's been putting up great points, but he does put up a consistent floor of over 7. If you're losing your matches up by just 7 points, which there hasn't been many, or you're like, man, I wish I got more than 1 point from this guy, maybe throw him in there. Maybe he'll come out with a good game. He has had a couple of those this year. But I still think he's somebody you're going to want to get onto, at least onto your bench. Robinson from the Rams. Stafford's starting to hawk that rock around, so he's been getting some consistent points there. There's not a lot of guys for wide receiver out there on the waiver wires, so you might want to get him onto your bench, maybe into your lineup if you need him. And then Mr. Ingram, the tight end from the Jaguars. The Jaguars haven't been great, but he has been getting a consistent volume. So he's somebody that if you're looking for a tight end or you need some little extra insurance on your bench, I'd be throwing him and picking him up. All right, so we're going to go over and get into our Week 10 matchup recaps for Clusterfuck 2, our fantasy league. And it started off with Nate losing to Shane. Shane, you beat Nate 150 to 125.9. Nate, your team's Billy Bob Jr. Shane, you're the GB Packers. You're sitting at 5-5 now after the victory. Shane, or Nate, you're looking at 7-3 now. Your 3rd loss on the season after that. Nate, you were led by Jackson again, 45 plus points, and George Pickens, 20 plus points. Shane, you were led by the Vikings defense, 24 plus points, and Mark Andrews, 18 plus points. Shane, you continued your unbeaten streak against Nate for your career. And guess what? He knocked off our league leader this week. He's been sitting in the top spot, but now, in our next matchup, you're going to see Caden, you're sitting at 7-3. Your team is golf is better. After you beat Graham, who's sitting at 6-4 now. It was a 129.6 to 87.4 victory for you, Caden. Graham, you're led by the Broncos defense, 15 plus points. Derrick Henry at 14 plus points. Thought he would have had a little bit more in that matchup, but you know it is what it is. Caden, you were led by Joe Burrow, 44 plus points. Somebody had to throw it to Mr. Chase there. And Mr. Hubbard, 24 plus points. Caden, after your victory, you now join Nathan atop the standings, respectively. You guys are leading each of your own divisions. So you got a good path to go into the playoffs. Caden is now 2-0 against Graham on the season. So now we're going to go into our next matchup. My team, the Monty Lake Colts, lost to Les's team, Tropic Thunder. Shout out to you, Les, for putting up that picture of the Ultimate Warrior for your team. Fucking like it. With the victory, Les, you moved to 4-6. With the loss, I moved to 4-6. It was a 162.5 to 123.75 victory for Les. I was led by the Chargers defense with 30 plus points. Kareem Hunt, 17 points. Les, you were led by who? Jamar Chase, 59 plus points. And the Steelers defense, 24 plus points. So having Jamar Chase pretty much sealed the victory for you on Thursday night. There was no fucking way I was coming back from the most points I've ever seen any fucking player get. So, and easily the most points that a player has gotten this season. So good job on starting him, bud. Les, obviously you were led by your huge day with Mr. Chase. So congratulations. You scored the most points in the league this week. And you had the highest total this week. So you scored the most points that have been scored in this week in this season. You know what I mean. And you had the highest total for the week. So that was double whammy for you. Plus you got the victory. So that's just some. Then we had Lawson. Your team is Andy Reid Anal Beat. And you beat Ty's team. Protect your holes. Ty with the loss here at 3-7. Lawson with victory here at 6-4. It was a 151.1 victory by a lot. Because Ty, you had 104.55. So it was a good victory for you, Lawson. Nice to see. Wish you would change your name. You were led by Jalen Hurts, 29 plus points, and James Conner with 22 plus. Ty, you were led by the Lions defense with 21 plus. And Amon St. Brown, the Sun God, 18 points. Lawson, you beat Ty for the second time this season. Ty is winless against Lawson all time. Lawson, obviously that means you're 4-0 against Ty all time. So getting those victories against last year's champion, that's got to feel good. That's going to feel real good. In our next matchup, with Simon's team, the Mark Davis Bowl Cut. Losing to Dan's team. Past the Dutch. The victory, Dan. Or with the loss, Dan, you're at 4-6. And Simon with the victory, you're at 4-6. It was a 131-30 to 151-20 win for Dan. Yeah, because Simon lost. Oh, sorry, I messed that up. Sorry on you, Dan. After your win, you're at 4-6. And after your loss, Simon, you're at 4-6. You were led by Travis Kelce with 20 plus points and Sutton with 19 plus. Dan, you were led by the Bills defense with 39 plus points and Mr. Robinson Bijan with 30 plus points. Dan, you got your second win against Simon on the season. You guys are 2-2 in your career all time. So, you know, that's something to take in to the next matchup with each other. Be like, hey, I'm better than you. Oh, I'm better than you. So the standings after all these weeks, we've got the Happy Gilmore Conference being led by Caden with 7-3. Graham at 6-4. Shane, you're at 5-5. And rounding out playoff positions in that division, Simon at 4-6. Dan, you're sitting on the outside at 4-6 in that division and on the outside of the playoffs. In the Shooter McGavin division, you got Nathan at 7-3 leading it. Followed by Lawson at 6-4. Then we got Les jumping into third place after his victory at 4-6. Myself at 4-6. And on the outside looking in, last year's champion, Ty at 3-7. So a lot of good stuff happened there. A lot of good stuff's happened all the way around the NFL. Our fantasy league's looking more competitive than it has ever. Well, I've had a lot of fun tonight, but it's time to get into our goal to go segment. My final thoughts. Joe, Mr. Flacco, looking a little flaccid this weekend. Throwing 2 picks, bud. In the first 2 possessions he had, you threw picks. No wonder you're getting replaced by Anthony Richardson this weekend, which technically shouldn't have even really happened altogether. It should have been a one-off thing because Richardson did the whole fucking, I'm too fucking tired. Like, you're a fucking quarterback, man. Like, get your shit together. But we're getting away from that. Flacco, he had a pretty bad performance, and now they're turning the car keys back over to Richardson. So I think he's gonna have a really good week. I might even start him in fantasy. I think he's got something to prove. It's tough to say if they're going to have some kind of a leash on him and only allow him to do so much, but have to wait till Sunday to see. Next up, we were talking about the Cowboys, how they're having some problems there, and Dak Prescott, you are out for the season. Some kind of hamstring injury or something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Does that make them worse? I really don't think so. They didn't look that great with him. And I don't know. Cooper Rush isn't a horrible quarterback. We haven't seen a lot from him. So it's kind of tough to say. It's a very small sample size. But I think we could see something, maybe something pretty magical here. Maybe see some kind of a quarterback controversy going on in Dallas. Then we saw Jamar Chase this weekend score 59 plus points. He had like 246 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. Just getting fucking bombs all day. I've never seen a fantasy player score that many points in the entire time I've been in fantasy football by one friggin' player. So that was really cool to see. Obviously, I was getting a lot of calls from Les that night because I was going up against him. Basically, it was just him saying Chase and then hanging up the phone. Awesome. Just great. Mr. Purcell, the wide receiver from the 49ers there, he got shot right in the fucking chest in fucking spring training. And he came back. This is the second week back, and he got his first career touchdown. Fucking give it up to you, bud. Get shot in the chest and fucking catch a touchdown on your second game back. Good job for you, man. The way the Chiefs win on a blocked field goal, which was pretty fucking cool. Really awesome to see their defense stepping up there and stopping them. But, it wasn't the best performance by them as a whole. Obviously only 16 points. But they were able to squeak out that victory and stay perfect. See how much longer that lasts for. Next, we had the Panthers stunning the Giants in Munich with a field goal. And, fuck. It's the Panthers. They fucking blow. But the Giants blow, too. So, it was really a wash there. It was like, who's going to suck more? Next, we had Minnesota. I wanted to talk about that, how they just stumbled their way through to a victory over the Jags. I couldn't even watch that game anymore. It seemed like every single time Sam Darnold stepped back, he was either getting ready to throw a pick or throwing a pick. I'll give it up to you, Pats. You won. Fucked up those Bears. But was it more that the Bears lost the game or that you won it? I'm going to go with the first one. You know why. There's 4 weeks left to go, everyone, in our fantasy football season. With one more win, Nate, you secure the first playoff berth of the year. And Caden, 2 more victories secures your first playoff victory, or your playoff berth of the year. So those would be the 2 first guys in our league being secured to go into the playoffs, and that'd be really cool to see. I know that they both would like to be in the dance. Nathan more than Caden, because Nathan missed out on everything last year. Actually, he was the recipient of our Toilet Bowl championship, the Rudy, for finishing last. So it's gotta feel good to be out of the cellar, doesn't it, Nathan? Took those chains off and stumbled up the stairs, kicked the door down while the family was having dinner, and said, "Hey, fucking out." Well, it's been an awesome episode, everybody. Had a great time here tonight. Hope to see you all again next week, where I'm going to break down everything you need to know.